I thought I'd do this one because I put my bike in for a service, my push bike, because the front wheel's all screwed and it just needs a general looking to, and I don't really have the time. And on the way back I saw someone wearing one of those Lush stop animal testing bags. Actually, it's funny because it looked like that from a distance. It turned out that when they crossed the road over towards me, it wasn't that, but I thought it was. And my first thought was, I wonder if they're vegan. And I realised that in the 1980s, if we'd have seen somebody with an anti-vivisection emblem, we wouldn't have thought that, you know. And again, it's one of those things that some of the modern day vegans are finding quite difficult to understand, that we were all vegan in the 1980s, at least most of the people that I worked with and campaigned with. I mean, I've been a street activist since the 80s. Everyone was vegan, but we didn't really talk about it. You know, it wasn't the issue. You know, it sounds kind of bizarre. I mean, it sounds a bit bizarre to me now, to be honest, but you know, it sounds just a bit weird. And I always mention the fact that, you know, in those days, because of the stress on blood sports, we would see the League Against Cruel Sports as part of the animal rights movement, and we would also regard compassionate animal farming like that too. And yet we didn't consider the Vegan Society as kind of part of the movement. They were just like the food group. It's a kind of bizarre situation, and Ronnie Lee talks about it well in an audio. You know, he saw it all in terms of the change. You know, most of the national groups campaigning for blood sports, or against blood sports obviously, and also against vivisection, they were all run by flesh consumers. And then he saw the change where the staff were vegan, but the campaign wasn't vegan. In the same way, it's kind of an interesting thing now, isn't it? I think most vegetarian organisations now, I bet you'd find that most of their staff are vegan, and yet, of course, they've got a vegetarian campaign. So that's the way it used to be in the 1980s, the fact that the staff may have been vegan, but that doesn't mean that the group has changed, because, you know, it obviously gets its donations, subscriptions on the basis of its single issue. And that's one of the things that tend to confuse people like Bob Linden. He's always confused about the fact that you've got people like Paul Shapiro, vegan, working for the HSUS in North America. It doesn't make any difference, because it just means you've got a vegan working for a non-vegan group, you know, and that's the way it kind of was in those days. You know, it really needs to be underlined, because we're getting a lot of claims now that veganism is being a failure in a social movement sense, and this is not true. In fact, in terms of veganism being central to what we do, it's very new. We've only just started this century, the 21st century. You know, even a group like Vegan Outreach in North America didn't really get going until the mid to late 1990s. You know, Gary Francione was still describing himself as a vegetarian in 1996. We are talking about a new idea. The idea of veganism being very central to what we do is new. So if you're a vegan educator, don't be put off. Take heart in the fact that historically we've only just begun. Keep at it. Don't let any vegan strategist, vegan and strategist in inverted commas, tell you that we need to engage in reducitarianism or anything else apart from veganism. Don't let them tell you that veganism is a scare word. And if it is a scare word, then let's let's communicate better and make sure that's not the case, because there's nothing more important than getting more vegans. There's nothing more important for the earth, for the animals, obviously, to get more vegans. That's our number one priority. We need to change the culture. If we can't do that, then we're screwed, and the planet's screwed, and the other animals are screwed. So we need to keep our eye on the ball. And there are so many people now trying to reduce down what veganism means, trying to get people to redefine it and all the rest of it. Resist all that. Maintain your veganism, maintain your vegan focus. We've only just begun. Take heart because of that. Right, rant over. Roger and out. I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.